Hey everyone, and welcome back to the news. Today we actually have got a nice story for you. A story of success within a niche, and a little bit of a suffering from success, which is a nice little trend these days. I mean, not suffering, but it's just nice to see the games are doing that well. So we got Splitgate. Splitgate, the self-build Halo meets Portal game, has absolutely bloody exploded. Like, it's kind of insane how much it has exploded, especially when you consider how many arena shooter revivals have kind of failed. You know, I mean, they get a big boost, and then they just sort of peter off, and people don't really stick around. We'll have to see how the long term of Splitgate goes, but we can already see that it is off to an absolutely roaring start. Now, basically, Halo meets Portal is, like, it's even the site header of their own official website, so that's very much how they're trying to get people in. Basically, very smooth, very slick gameplay, and also portals, like in Portal, which certainly opens up absolutely insane Gigabrain plays that, to be honest, just make my head a little bit sore even trying to think about them. Unfortunately, this is not a game that I have played, which I think is a great pity because I did enjoy UT way back in the day, and I mean, since Tribes Ascend, which I absolutely loved, I have just fallen off the sweaty Twitch, well, just the sweaty shooting genre. But maybe this is the game to get me back in, because especially as we go into things, it's clear that there is something here. Now, overall, impressions are absolutely excellent. Now, there are things that are, well, you know, a little bit budget. You know, people laughing at the loot box opening screen as an example. Now, this is a game that comes from a small development team, and I think this is one of the cool things. In the past, if you wanted to make an entry in a genre like this, you'd still need a reasonably big team. But what's really awesome is that in the current day, with how good engines and tools are, a 25-person team can do something like this. So this 25-person team is 1047 Games. The number is a reference to their dorm room in college for the founders, which I think is pretty damn neat. Now, what Ian Prolux, the CEO, has said is, "We fill a void, as there are a lot of battle royales and hero shooters out there. Our game is unique within its genre, and it fills a void in player versus player shooters." And man, it certainly has filled a void. Perhaps a void that is bigger than they thought. So with this game, it's interesting. It got 600,000 downloads during its first month, but it struggled to get a consistent player base until it entered open beta towards the start of July 2021. And if we just look here with Steam charts, you can see big gains. Big gains. You can see a 24-hour peak of 67,000 players. As an example, 33,000 people playing. It's been doing great. It has attracted over 2 million people during its beta, which is wild. Now, unfortunately for them, that 65k-ish was more than their servers could handle. So they said that they spent, basically, they did a bit of an all-nighter optimizing even more, but after talking to Amazon Web Services, they learned that their database can only handle 65,536 concurrent players. So optimization basically doesn't matter. Right now they're working on, or at that time, they were working on a queue system so that at least those 65k people could actually play the game. Kind of wild that this has ended up being the thing that limited them. I suppose they just, given the niche, never expected to get that many players. Now, this has got to the stage where they've had to delay their release. The release date was supposed to be July 27th. Now, it's August. But this has been a good thing, because they have secured $10 million in funding in order to, expand the team and stabilize servers. I mean, there is no better form of product market fit than a situation like this happening. Your product unexpectedly fitting way more of a market than you thought. It's just awesome for them. So they've raised 10 million off the back of this, and they also were able to get 6.5 million in May 2021. All of this for a 25-person team. I think it's going to grow significantly. So they're rolling out server updates consistently. We'll just have to see how long it takes for those things to get to where they need to be so that August launch can actually go ahead. Here's just a little quote from IGN. Our team has been blown away by the incredible reception the Splitgate community has shown us. With the steep and sudden increase in players trying to access servers, we're having to sort out a myriad of technical issues that come with this level of insane growth. We worked hard to provide a high-quality game and experience, and our biggest challenge is simply to have enough capacity to serve the entire community. You just could not have a better situation than that. Hopefully they're able to pull it off. So, good shit, and man, I've got so much Final Fantasy XIV to play, but there are so many other games still just trying to vie for attention. It's insane.
It is honestly insane how when you're trying to cover games, you know, all of your like after work time gets destroyed as well.
Yeah.
Because between FF14, between trying to keep up with World of Warcraft, between wanting to play Splitgate but never getting a chance to, and then Back for Blood and its open beta as well, deserving a look because it's, you know, it's the new Left 4 Dead. It's difficult, but Splitgate is such a win, I think. It's such a complete win. I mean, because we had in the document there the average players of 11,000. I just checked, the last 30 days is up to 18,000 average players.
There you go. Yeah.
Their peak is now 67. Well, it's just slightly higher, but 67,724. Which, you know, generally you'll be looking at games with peak concurrence of significantly higher than that. You look at the top 10s like on Steam and they're massive. But this is an arena shooter. I don't want to say just an arena shooter because that sounds really like it sounds rude to the genre because it's a fantastic genre. But you think that, you know, you've got arena shooters, you've got hero shooters like, you know, Overwatch kind of stuff. You've got the battle royales. You've got 3 major battle royales currently that exist with, you know, actually, well, I said there's more, but, you know, Fortnite, Apex, Warzone. You've got the like multiplayer of Call of Duty as it stands. You've got so many shooters, but now Splitgate has the opportunity to actually take the arena shooter part and run with it. Because in terms of big name competition, there's not really a whole pile.
Until, of
course, Halo. But before Halo comes out, like if you look at the kind of the more online PC focused, obviously Halo will be on PC this time in great fashion. But Quake Champions wasn't an arena shooter. It was, but it had hero shooter elements.
It did.
That people didn't like. Unreal Tournament that Epic were working on, they just basically threw in the bin for whatever reason, probably to make sure that, you know, the people who knew Unreal Engine best were best, you know, working on Unreal Engine 5 and improvements there, and the game dev side were more, you know, better suited to work on Fortnite.
Absolutely, yeah.
But it's just the idea of the arena shooter's not big enough for Epic to bother with, so it's down to Splitgate to scoop up all of those players that are left by the wayside.
I think that side of it's interesting, but then also, this is free-to-play multiplayer on Xbox.
Yeah.
And we know that on Xbox, I mean, like, say for Sony as an example, a lot of the Sony gamers are going to be playing their multiplats, they're going to be playing their big blockbusters. At least over on the Microsoft side, there's just a lot of people who have just played Halo. And with Master Chief Collection, that's what they've been doing for a long, long time now. So there's, I think, a lot of that type of player there. So not only is this going to prime them for Halo Infinite coming out, this is going to have an interesting little bit of competition with Halo Infinite. But I wonder if it will be a rising tide lifting all ships situation. As an example, if this game is being billed as Halo meets Portal, and a whole bunch of PC gamers are playing it, I mean, Microsoft are surely going to be happy that there's loads of people playing games in this genre that are going to be very aware of this type of gameplay whenever Halo Infinite comes out and has free-to-play multiplayer. And obviously, yes, they're different games, but the association is obvious enough that, like, even the developers of Splitgate have used it in their own marketing.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting situation, and it's also a type of game that, you know, that was me growing up. It was like that, RTS and MMOs. So I think it's actually just a good time. Basically, it's just a goddamn good time.
Yep, that's the thing. I hope it can maintain this momentum, because I have seen too many games start off really strong and then slide off because they haven't had, you know, some sort of hook there. But with this kind of game, I think there's enough people. I mean, even if it is only, you know, only 60,000 people want to play this, you know, looking at the Steam chart all the goddamn time, because this isn't even like one of those, oh, people are dropping off during the day kind of thing. It is just up and we're across.
Yeah.
In a straight line of just the servers are capped out all day long. So it feels like as long as those 60,000 players, or some portion of them, don't go off to play Halo Infinite, or go play Halo Infinite and go, I kind of like the Portals element a bit better, or even just, don't want to go out and buy Halo or pay for Game Pass and are happy enough to play this because it is a solid Halo-like shooter, then that's fantastic. That's fantastic news for people, because I feel like the arena shooter crowd has had such a bad time recently. It's awful.
I own Lawbreakers. I own Lawbreakers. Like, obviously can't play Lawbreakers. Yeah. I did play Lawbreakers for like a month when it came out, and then it just got to the stage where it was so freaking obvious the game was dying. But I wonder if Lawbreakers had a little bit of that Titanfall 2 problem, where it's too hard. And when I say hard there, I mean, there's people who think about hard in a PvE sense. I mean hard in just the mechanical sense. Like, Lawbreakers was really, really fucking fast and had so much shit going on with the gravity. And then Titanfall 2, similar situation. Now, those are both games that I love, but I think they're the games that didn't do super well. When I look at this, the portal mechanic, yes, there's a lot of real, fast, twitchy stuff there, where you could say that it's a very hard mechanic, but there's also a lot of ways where it's not, where the usability of the portal mechanic is, it's just going to be more accessible. They're not billing themselves as Tribes Ascend meets Portal. They're doing Halo meets Portal. And I think that just means that with it being just a little bit slower, not having those crazy aspects of Lawbreakers and Titanfall 2, that could just have a larger addressable market of people who are there to stick around. Because I think for Lawbreakers and Titanfall 2, not only did you have to enjoy that game, but you had to be the type of player who completely plays for the mastery loop. And there's only so many people who are that. Whereas it seems like this is just able to speak to more people.
Yeah, that's what I think is kind of... I mean, obviously you kind of think, well, X but with Portals sounds kind of obvious, but it's clear that, and obviously I haven't played it, but it's clear that they've done it in a way that it feels proper and actually works with the core design of the game. Because you think of Lawbreakers, you think of Titanfall 2, you think of specifically Tribes Ascend's a good one, where the mechanical depth is so insane that if you're a new player, and I believe people were complaining about this in Titanfall and Titanfall 2, whenever they were free on Steam for a while or returned to Steam and the numbers exploded, where everyone's just like, how am I supposed to kill anyone in this game? Everyone's too good.
Absolute gods. Watching a top Titanfall 2 player is like watching this crazy god. It's like that experience of, I'm a Zerg player in StarCraft 2, watching Scarlet, watching some of these incredible StarCraft 2 players and just being like, oh my, I understand all of the tools that you're playing with, and it's blown my mind that you can do that. That is what looking at real top-level Titanfall 2 gameplay is like. Yeah,
and that results in this massive problem where new players can't actually penetrate to play with the people who've been playing for 1,000 hours. But the portal mechanic is a little bit more, I don't want to say intellectual, but a little more, strategic, a little more tactical, as opposed to pure mechanical stuff.
Yes, exactly.
So you can think of ways to use it that are like completely, this is a frag movie tier stuff, or you can think of something kind of sneaky, where you just kind of pop through it and shoot someone when they're not paying attention.
Yeah.
So you've got it's that mechanic that has massive depth, but not in a way where you'll be untouchable. Just in something that'll look and feel really smart.
I don't mean literally a Winston player.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people who would play, say, Winston in Overwatch. And, they play Winston because they're not the best shot in the world, but they're strategically really strong and just know how to help their team and stuff like that. I feel like even for those people, something like the portal mechanic really gives them something. So, yeah, and it's that thing, too. Sometimes it's a case of player expression via being an absolute Twitch god, like with Titanfall 2. The portal mechanic, that's another great way for player expression through the mechanics that is alternatively accessible to being a Twitch god.
Yeah.
And I think that just increases the scope of, or not the scope, the sort of addressable market. The amount of people who are going to find something they can latch onto and love. I mean, certainly if you were playing Halo 3, or you played Halo 3 a long time ago, you weren't that good of a shot, and then somebody told you, hey, there's these portals, and you're like, oh, wow, I could really see how I could use that interestingly. That's going to give you something, even though you're not going to be top of the kill feed in Titanfall 2. So, interesting stuff. I'm going home this weekend. This has got 165 hertz on its display.
Bastard.
Maybe this is the game to put this bad boy through.
Yeah, we should hop into a couple matches.
Yeah, I love it whenever the gaming news just puts a smile on your face because good shit's happened. Yep. It's too fucking rare, and we definitely need to find more of these stories, talk about them, and raise them up whenever we can. Because you can get so fucking depressed when it's all just bullshit.
It's Activision Blizzard week, everyone.
Yeah.
Sorry, Activision Blizzard month.
Absolutely. So, you know what? Enjoy Splitgate, guys, and hopefully I see you there. I have a lot of FF to play, but I feel like some shooting's also in order. So, yeah, take care. We'll see you next time.